The featured company is a paid client of Proactive Group Holdings, and this recording is disseminated by Proactive on its behalf.
This contribution from the federal government of Canada is extremely important for us. It gets us all the way throughout our feasibility study, all the way through to a final investment decision without having to raise capital dilutively.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by First Phosphate CEO John Passalacqua. John, very good to speak with you. You've secured 16.7 million Canadian dollars non-repayable contribution from the Canadian government. How important is this funding in moving the Bégin-Lamarche project forward?
Yeah, thank you for having me, Stephen. Obviously, the Bégin-Lamarche property is, a very rare igneous phosphate deposit, which is geared towards lithium iron phosphate (LFP) batteries, such as the one as I'm showing here on screen, which we've been able to produce using the phosphate at Bégin-Lamarche. This contribution from the federal government of Canada is extremely important for us. It gets us all the way throughout our feasibility study, all the way through to a final investment decision without having to raise capital dilutively, only if we wanted to very strategically at this point. So it's an extremely important backing by the Canadian government. We're very thankful to the Canadian government for coming to the table. And I think it also shows the progress of First Phosphate in terms of developing the mining product, but not only that, right through to the creation of an entire LFP battery supply chain for North America.
John, what are the key technical milestones investors should watch for as you validate that process?
So we're completing the final drilling right now to be able to then move the company into a feasibility study if all goes well, and then the feasibility study would be created and completed by the end of 2026. There would be environmental permitting by 2027, and hopefully an operating mine by 2029 to meet our definitive offtake agreements, which are prepaid for early 2029.
You've talked about building an integrated LFP battery supply chain in Canada. Where does First Phosphate ultimately fit in that value chain?
So First Phosphate is able to go from mine all the way to the LFP cathode active material, the powder that goes into these batteries. 60% of this cathode for the lithium iron phosphate LFP battery is high purity phosphate.
John, I hope you'll continue to keep us updated with your progress. Thank you very much for speaking with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Stephen. Great day for First Phosphate, great day for Canada and North America and Europe here.
John Passalacqua, the CEO of First Phosphate.
The featured company is a paid client of Proactive Group Holdings, and this recording is disseminated by Proactive on its behalf. It is for informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice, an offer, or a solicitation to buy or sell any securities. Viewers should conduct their own research and consult a qualified financial advisor before making investment decisions. The views expressed are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of Proactive Group Holdings, trading as Proactive Investors or its affiliates. No responsibility is accepted for any loss arising from reliance on the information presented.